There's obviously something really important we need to talk about now. Do we overnight our parts from Japan or from Germany now? And what's the MSRP on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal.
Supra. So one thing I want to say before we get going, I know I don't usually make videos like this, but I felt it was appropriate because the Supra has always been my dream car. Since I was a kid, I've loved the Toyota Supra. I'm kind of on the fence of whether or not I need one / want one. More of a need thing. One thing I want to say, keep an open mind about the car. I don't know if you guys remember when the 86 came out in like 2011. I don't know if you guys remember this, but people didn't like it. Like, aside from the, like, horsepower aside, it took like 4 to 5 years for that car to become cool and seen. And now it's one of the most popular and like one of the coolest cars in the modern Japanese car world. Cars are always changing and they're always evolving, but you gotta appreciate it for what it is. So to get started, I'm gonna be like every supercar channel on YouTube and just read the brochure.
Wow, you can read the brochure.
Let's talk about the exterior though. Like I said in the beginning, I'm trying to keep an open mind about this because I know cars change all the time, and you know what? In 20 years or 10 years, we might all be like, this was the best looking car of the 20s. So you never know. So I'm looking at it and it's got these weird curves. It looks pretty weird, but I think it has some super awesome potential. I am not sure what's going on with the whole headlight assembly and all the curves going on. It's a little weird, but it might, it's honestly, it's a little weird. It's a little weird for me. I think it can look cool and will look cool, but like you think about that too, look at the aftermarket scene. Wait till Veris or maybe even Vertex, or wait till somebody makes a good body kit for this car. And I think that front end can look real good real fast. Side profile, I think the car looks really good. It has a lot of like classic Japanese sort of aspects to it. God, I just caught another glimpse of the front again, and it's not... In certain renders and in certain colors, it looks really good. In some others, it definitely don't. The interior's gorgeous. Like, it's cool. I love the way it looks. It's got a very driver-centered-esque. It doesn't look like the old Supra that much, but it almost looks like it's a new version of the old Supra, if you will. The rear. I think everybody can agree that their favorite part about this car is the rear. The taillights are pretty cool. The duckbill that's built into the car is kind of sick. I'm kind of hoping that somebody makes a hatch that's like carbon fiber that doesn't have the duckbill so that you can put like a sportier wing or something like that, like a low-rise wing. That would be cool. It kind of limits your abilities there, but maybe, I don't know. It's got dual exhausts. The rear diffuser-ish area is pretty neat. If you look at the old Voltex diffusers, I think that would look really cool on this car. The car looks sleek and aerodynamic. We can hate it in pictures all day long, but I know this is a car that if you see this on the road, you're gonna be like, whoa, that's the new Supra. That looks really cool. You always can judge everything so easily because pictures never do it justice. You can only be so underwhelmed. I will say that my favorite color is the gray. That matte gray is, that's actually the color of my Evo. That is the coolest color I've seen. And I think that helps complement some of the body lines, and it makes up for the interesting front configuration that they've got. I think the weirdest thing about this car is, you know, no surprise at this point, a lot of it is made by BMW. Why it has a Toyota badge on it, I don't know, but I can understand why. The car comes from the factory with 335 horsepower, as it says. One thing we all should know by this point is Japanese cars always come underpowered from the factory. I have practically tripled my horsepower in my Evo with a stock motor, just because with these inline motors with turbos, you don't want to push too much. It is interesting, I think it's the B58 is what they call it. It's not on here. It's basically the spawn of what was the N54 to the N55. The N54, when it came out, it was the modern day 2JZ. It had some problems, but most of the problems with the 335i were electrical with like the fuel pump. It was not the motor. The motor itself is as sturdy as a 2JZ. So with that being said, the 335 horsepower is a little underwhelming for the price tag, but I have to say, knowing what motor it is, I know that there's enough potential to not really worry about that. People get so caught up in horsepower out of the bag, they forget the Supra is probably going to be one of the most modifiable cars of this generation, of the 20s. Take that number with a grain of salt and realize that An inline-six as strong as this has incredible potential. So I'm just going to ignore the fact that it's made by BMW, because I strongly believe that this B58 is going to be the 2JZ swap of the future. When we have all electric cars and we're tired of hearing whirling noises whenever we drive, we're going to want to put the B58 in our cars because the 2JZs are too expensive and old. Aside from the looks and the price tag, I think the biggest thing is going to be the automatic. We know that these days, we know that you can lose an argument every time, automatic versus manual. Automatic typically trumps manual in almost every way, except for enjoyability. Manual is fun. Every single one of my cars, except for my wife's car, is manual. And I strongly believe that manual is like the most bonding experience between a car and a driver. But for some companies, I guess it just doesn't make sense. So they went with the 8-speed, which is a really popular 8. It's a very good 8-speed, I'll put it that. So it will probably be able to handle all the power that we'll be doing here, and I would give it a 2 years. I am a little bummed that we only have a 2-pedal option instead of 3, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? Also, the exhaust notes. I think one of my favorite things about the inline-six is the exhaust note. This car is equipped with a 1JZ GTE, and I think that's probably arguably one of the best sounding 6-cylinders in the world. 2JZ following closely behind. I'm a little biased, maybe. I'm sure exhaust companies will be on this car faster than Jake Paul to a dead body. Even a custom exhaust with, you know, a resonator or two with a muffler will probably sound really, really good. So enough with the motor. It is what it is. I think you have to just see it for face value. You're using a very good inline-six that Toyota doesn't have to reproduce, which saves them a little bit of money, which also drives maybe down the cost a little bit. Which brings me to talk about the price tag. So a lot of people are really whiny right now that this car is $50,000. Now I know you can obviously get a Mustang GT for 40 grand. Actually, it's pretty hard to get a Mustang for less than like 45 now, because we did almost buy one earlier in the year. You can get a faster car, sure. You can buy a car that has this better or this better or this better all day long. But this car is, one, it's special. Two, if you look at everything on it, it's nice. Everybody compares the starting price to this Supra to the old Supra. The old Supra starting price was like $31,000 or $30,000, but it was for an automatic non-turbo. An automatic non-turbo, that's how it started. Get that away from here and look at it this way. An automatic twin turbo started at like $37,000 MSRP. That's 25 years ago. A manual turbo was about $2,000 more, and optioned out, it could be about $41,000 out the door. $41,000, 25 years ago. A couple TVM entries in a TI-84 calculator will let you know that that $50,000 starting price tag is really not bad compared to the $41,000 back in the day. Although Toyota does have to stay competitive to other markets, a $60,000 price tag would not be unfair. 8-speed shift, 0 to 60. Can we all just agree to stop talking about 0 to 60?
It does 0 to 60 in like 4.3 seconds. That's about right.
It is 3,400 pounds, which, with all things considered, that's not too bad. I think that this is going to be a pretty awesome car, and I'm excited about it because I think it's going to spark a new era for Japanese cars. I'm hoping that the Supra coming back will spark maybe even a cheaper GTR. Actually, I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe an RX-7 or RX-9 or whatever they want to do. Like, it might spark some more interest in tuner stuff. I think it's possible that the tuner thing might end up coming back. I'm excited about this car. The Supra has been my dream car, but I've held off from buying a Mark IV because they're way overpriced. I have to say that I am probably gonna buy this car the second I have a chance. We are closing on a house in less than a month, so hopefully we'll make it work out. But I definitely see I see huge potential in this car. I want to buy this car. I want to get a custom manifold made, do a big turbo. I want to experiment. I want to see what this car has in store. I want to see this car's boundaries pushed. All we know is specs and pictures. Neither of those are cool. Nope, like, neither of those are that cool. I can't wait to see one in person. I can't wait to drive one. I can't wait to hear one and see what it's capable of, because I know the B58 is a really good motor. The 8-speed it uses is also a really good transmission. And you know what? I have faith in this. It's an odd collaboration. Japan and Germany just like working together on this. It seems a little odd, but I think we're gonna make it happen and it's gonna be okay. So those were my opinions on the 2019 Supra. I much prefer two-way conversation when doing stuff like this, but I'm just speaking. I was literally reading the brochure and speaking my mind as I was looking at it, and I think I'm gonna have to get one. So with my videos, I always do an advice towards the end to kind of help you guys, guide you in your lives, and I would say that today, keep an open mind with all this stuff. It seems stupid to think about it in a car sense, but with everything, keep an open mind. It helps you and others live better lives. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I have 2 videos for you at the very end that I need you to watch, or one of them, whatever. Peace out. Love you all. Bye. All right, so like I said, if you like the Supra, watch the first video. If you don't like the Supra, watch the second video. Actually, it doesn't matter. Watch both of them anyways. Don't click on another channel. You gotta just stop thinking about Supra stuff and go look at my other stuff, because they're good videos.